Yeah, nice to meet you. That's my wife, Minnie.
Hi, Minnie.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's my son, Jack.
Oh, Jack, how are
Nice.
you?
Handsome.
Yeah. Okay, so you were saying that you um, have done real estate in Vietnam and in Cambodia. Okay, so tell me more about real estate in Cambodia because we love Cambodia and we have a ton of family here now, and we want to get into real estate. We do real estate
Right.
in America, so
Look, I mean, you've got to look at Cambodia as an opportunity.
mhm,
It's underdeveloped and it's going through a growth phase economically and socially.
mhm,
So things are on the up,
mhm.
and the country is trying to get plain kind of status by 2030 and then even higher by 2050. So you can see there's growth and there's development happening here. So there's lots of opportunities. Now, if you're looking at the islands, yeah, I mean, there's lots of resort opportunities. There's places up for sale which you can rent. Again, it all depends on tourism.
Mhm.
Globally, tourism has been on a bit of a slump ever since COVID.
Right,
But nothing's stayed the same. It
Right.
changes.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got to be a little bit adventurous
Right.
and sort of like take that first step and say, right, I'm going to do this, and then touch wood, tourism goes back up again,
right.
which you should do because Cambodia is a really nice country. There's a lot to see here
Right.
apart from just going to Phnom Penh, Siem Reap, and
Right.
obviously see Angkor Wat,
Yeah.
which is important.
Yeah.
But the islands are beautiful. And obviously, Cambodia, the people are lovely. They're very laid back, they're very friendly, they're very welcoming.
Mhm.
So you don't feel like you're being threatened or anything.
Right.
They're very open arms.
Yeah, yeah. How easy is it for a foreigner to own a home in Cambodia?
Right. You can't own land.
Okay.
All right. You can in a way, but basically you can't own land as a
Right.
foreigner.
Right.
So you can buy a condominium as long as it's above the first floor,
Okay.
and you got that airspace.
Right.
That's you own that. Yeah?
Okay. Okay.
If you wanted to do development, then you'd have to lease the land,
Mhm.
which you can do, but then you have to set it up as a company.
Mhm.
Or the other way around it is you get a nominee. Normally a bank will do it, a law firm will do it, but they hold all the documentation in your name.
Mhm.
But because they're a Cambodian entity, they can own it for
Right,
you.
so-
Yeah? It's like an agreement.
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
it.
yeah. So if you're Cambodian, you can own, but if you're not, you have to go through a third party.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And what would you say are the price ranges in terms of, you know, a nice and a very nice villa? What would you say in US dollars for somebody that would want to buy a house?
Typically, villas here, you know, they're typically in what they call borings, which are house developments, yeah,
Mhm.
gated developments,
Mhm.
yeah. And invariably, the bigger ones will have a gym and a recreation centre and a swimming pool and a play area for children. And it is very sort of community orientated kind of existence. But then villas here, they can start from anywhere from 400,000 up to
US dollars?
yeah,
Oh.
10 million. Depends
US
on,
dollars?
yeah,
Oh.
depends on the size of it and the land you're getting and
Right.
how big it is.
Right.
Most people are living in these borings, so they tend to be sort of like terraced houses, 3-story.
Mhm.
Invariably a shop house at the bottom,
Mhm.
and then you might get other kind of developments where it's pure residential. There's no actual shop house element.
Mhm. Gotcha. Okay. So the prices I'd say are still, pretty spendy for like,
Yeah, they are.
a
They
villa.
are.
It's 400,000. That's the price, the average price of
I
an
mean,
American
I'm
home.
talking about Phnom Penh here.
Right, right.
If you're going down to
Siem Reap.
Siem Reap, again cheaper.
Uh-huh.
But again, it's where in Siem Reap.
Right, right.
If you're closer to town, then it's going to be more
Spice,
expensive.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted to know is really, could you own a home for, let's say, under $200,000?
Yeah.
A nice home in,
Yes.
not in Phnom Penh, but like in Siem Reap or in, what are the Sihanoukville? Sihanoukville pretty expensive?
There's a lot of development that's happened there, so there's lots of condominiums available there. And they're not selling at the moment. Partly COVID, other factors. But so there is a lot of supply there. So that, again, there's opportunities.
Yeah. Well, where the supply is up, the the prices. If there's a lot of supply, it's the lower prices because of that.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And
Well,
it's and like anywhere else in the world, if you're buying it off plan, try and make sure that the developer is bona fide. They are actually going to complete and you're going to get your product that
Right.
you paid
Right.
for.
right,
I mean, it happens everywhere. It's
Right.
not just
right.
particularly Cambodia. It happens in any real estate market when there's um, a spurt of development.
Right.
Everyone gets on the bandwagon, and then the money runs out, and it doesn't quite finish.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. Okay. But any last words for people that are watching that are curious about Cambodia and I wonder why you've stayed here so long?
I've stayed here so long partly because I've got a son,
Aye.
but more so because it is a nice lifestyle. It's relaxed. The pace of life here is very nice, even in Phnom Penh. All right, you're in a big buzzing city, but it's unlike London or Beijing
Right.
or New York. There's a sort of calmness to it as well, which is very nice. You don't feel like you're in a rat race.
Right. I do feel that a lot. As soon as I landed here, I did feel like the speed was just
Mellow.
more mellow, and yeah. So okay. Well, thank you, Naim,
No worries.
for
Nice
sharing
to meet
your
you.
insights, and there you have it.
Thank you.